This is Levistro, the Dragon of Cyberspace, coming to you with all news, tips, and tricks within the gaming spectrum. And yes, as much as we love Steam and its consumer-friendly practices, there are times where Steam actually does something stupid, like towing the line, bending the knee, and sadly, it has happened again. Steam rules updated to prohibit content that violates rules set forth by payment processors and banks. Valve's rules regard what developers shouldn't publish on Steam have a new clause regarding standards set forth by payment processors. Valve has updated its rules regarding the contents that developers aren't allowed to publish on Steam as reported by GameSpark. The Rules and Guidelines section of Steamworks documentation now has an extra clause, and it suggests that publishers are required to comply with rules and standards set forth by various third parties involved in processing electronic payments. The rules seem to be predominantly related to adult content. What you shouldn't publish on Steam. 15. Content that may violate the rules and standards set forth in Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers, in particular certain kinds of adult-only content. Prior to the update, the list included 14 clauses prohibiting things like hate speech, malware, sexual content depicting real people, and any form of exploitation of children. And yes, most of this stuff would be considered outside the terms of free speech, therefore illegal speech, therefore something you could get punished for legally in the court of law. The new 15 clause suggests that Steam may additionally have to crack down on specific types of adult content in response to requirements of payment processors and banks. There are currently no specific examples of what this may entail. The update, they point out, according to SteamDB, a large number of games have been removed from the platform in the past 16 hours. Judging from the list, it appears sex simulator type games such as, and with keywords such as incest and slavery make it the majority. There are some confusing cases like the removal of the Ace Attorney inspired investigation game Trails of Innocence, although this could be coincident of release deletion. On a related note, various video games and manga hosting platforms in Japan have in recent years run into trouble with payment processors and credit card networks due to certain content on the platforms going against often undisclosed rules and standards of third parties handling payments. The platforms end up without support for credit card payment. This has led to a loss of revenue and even the closure of platforms like Manga Library Z. It is possible that Steam's new rule is meant to prevent such complications from arising. However, as the specific rules and standards of payment processors are also unclear, publishers might need to be extra cautious when releasing their games on a platform. And yes, and why would this be a concern? You would think that this would be like, yes, we're trying to, some people would say, purify gaming from degenerates and stuff like that, and that's the problem. There was a court case in the 1970s, and I won't mention the specifics because people try to use that as another justification because they don't understand free speech terms and the concept of free thought. There's a village that wanted to censor a group of people that would say horrible things, but had the right to assemble peacefully. And that's what they were doing. And they went for that whole court case to determine the concept of hate speech. And what the judge said in the end was, I would rather let them say their venomous rhetoric than dictate what the American people can and cannot say. That's an actual quote from the court case. You can go look it up yourself. But why would this be anything different from here? Well, what's the relation? And that's the thing. This is a slippery slope. I hate saying it, but it is. There may be things that we don't like or approve of, regardless if it's religion, ideology, our own individual morals. But if they go and ban these things, what's next? What if they say you can't? What if we have a pro-theocracy type? What if someone who believes in religion wants to establish their religion in the payment processors as soon as they can become CEO, or they have a majority of board holders on, say, PayPal, a very popular network? What other things could happen? We've seen this with Facebook. We've seen this with other companies that would allow free speech and all of a sudden would silence it and have fact checkers. And it just went down a very slippery slope that The internet is no longer recognized what it was today just because certain people they didn't approve of went in certain positions in government. We'll just put it like that. Same with games. This is just yet another attempt to censor games. So what could we do about it? Well, we can tell Steam we don't like it. That's about it. We can find alternate payment processors, alternate websites to buy games that we like. Well, yes, I do agree this is a hard ask and a hard step, because even I will continue playing games on Steam because that's just what I do. There comes a time when we have to realize that corporations are going to corporate, and we should, yes, praise them for when they do good and have transparency, and shun them when they do bad so they know we don't like it. What do you think, viewer? Put your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, happy gaming.
Worlds clash in endless collision. Gaming news with a fierce precision. With a spark so wild it breaks the norm. In the tempest eye, a cyberstorm. Reclaim gaming and dragon cast. Fire breathing wide, screaming loud. The Vistro's here to shake the crowd.